Do it.
Do it!
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Push it!
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's your pal NOMZ here. Just a reminder for those of you who are interested in the channel's podcast, be sure to subscribe to the archive channel. I've linked it below. It's where you can find past episodes of the show, as well as eventual future episodes that are soon to come. Be sure to check it out. Also, before we begin, spoilers for Season 1 of Star Wars The Bad Batch. There's your warning, so thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoy this podcast highlight.
Oh, just real quick, when was this video made?
Recently, like 3 months ago. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no,
definitely
it's a recent one.
both Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay. So that changes everything.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is
What did you think it was?
I was actually wondering if this was made like a number of years ago, like when the when The Force Awakens was more recent.
No,
Oh,
dude,
okay.
it's
All
not
right.
really.
Okay, so yeah, if he's making a video just crapping on this after the sequels. Okay, so that changes everything on how I was going into this.
Okay.
Bear in mind,
Connor's
he likes
Connor's-
TLJ and hates Tross, I think.
I think
what I
you know
remember.
why? Because fucking what I'm willing to
Well,
bet is because TROS ruined the last. I mean, it was already ruined.
Yeah, it walks back on several things in the Last
Yeah.
Jedi. And it's
Yeah.
so funny that the people who
He's
shill,
one of those.
it's funny that people who shill for The Last Jedi, which craps on The Force Awakens and every other movie before it, then get
Right.
mad when another movie craps on TLJ.
Yeah. Anyway, Connor's actually got an interesting question here. Spoilers, I guess, for those of you who haven't seen The Bad Batch. I'll give you a chance to mute the podcast for a tad. Kind of related to Star Wars animation. NOMZ, do you think the latest episode of The Bad Batch is more of a setup for Mando or TROS? I mean, I'm hoping neither. I'm hoping.
Just a second. I don't mind spoilers, but I haven't been watching Bad Batch. What happens in the latest episode?
Okay.
I haven't watched it either, but I know what happens.
Okay, so this actually, when I heard about this, I was initially skeptical, but like now that I've had a chance to like sit down and process it, I feel a bit better about it. Though I know what Con is referring to. He's okay, so basically I don't want to go off on too big of a tangent with this, but because we've got super chats and we got to get to the video, but like I've been really frustrated with The Bad Batch. It's got fucking fantastic animation, fantastic soundtrack.
They destroyed Camino?
They can,
I
was getting to that. But like, look, Bad Batch has everything going for it, except the structure of each fucking episode and Omega. Omega is like a fucking tumor on that show. And like, as much as I hate to say it, like, even though I think these guys are fucking stupid, the guys who bitched about Jake Lloyd's child Anakin, I'm starting to see what they were talking about because I'm having the same fucking issues with Omega. But the difference is Phantom Menace and the prequels and Star Wars as a whole was based around Anakin Skywalker. Like the fact that he was a child had an important role to play and show where he came from, what his backstory was, et cetera, et cetera. With Omega, it's like we all signed up to watch The Bad Batch based on what we saw in Clone Wars Season 7. And I was hyped as fuck. But then it's like, oh, you wanted The Bad Batch? By the way, you got to tag along this fucking she-clone who's going to be this annoying fucking
Oh, yeah,
child.
the quote, unaltered gender bent clone.
Yeah.
If it's
and
gender bent, then it's altered, even if you're just changing one of the chromosomes.
And she's just like constantly. Okay, let me give you a sum up of every fucking episode of The Bad Batch. All right, Bad Batch are on the run. Bad Batch need money. Bad Batch find person in need. Bad Batch say no. Omega says, but we have to help them. It's the right thing to do. Bad Batch agrees. Bad Batch gets captured. Omega saves Bad Batch. Bad Batch win, lol. Rinse and repeat. That's the fucking plot for every goddamn fucking episode in the past fucking dozen fucking episodes. And it was driving me fucking crazy. All right? Episode 14, actually fucking made it out that it was like, okay, shit's starting to get serious. There was actually some development with like Crosshair and Hunter, and I did like their kind of dynamic. Like the fact that they were like two, of the most elite clone soldiers ever, and they were at odds with each other on opposite sides. And that kind of comes together in. I think they could have maybe left it for another season at least, but like I was actually quite pleased with how it kind of came together in episodes 14 and 15. Although there is like a tiny twist with like Crosshair's having like already got rid of his control chip, which I guess he took their advice and got it removed. But then he realized he still agreed with the ideology of the Empire. And I did actually like the fact that like finally Omega was actually put to use in a good way, where she actually snuck them into Kamino because she was like one of the chief scientists of Kamino's, like, she was like her pet project, and she was like following her around everywhere, and she learned everything that she did. And Omega's meant to be very smart, like very bright. It's one of her, like, what makes her like enhanced. That and the fact that she can just do everything. I honestly think she's a Mary Sue. But like her getting them into Kamino the way that she did, using a back entrance, I thought was actually pretty well done. Like it made sense. And then because the Empire was done making the transition from clones to conscripteds, but they still valued the Kaminoans' research and valued the clones that they already had made. They took them all off world, and then they blew up the cloning facility. And I was like, huh. Now, Kamino's a very iconic iconic planet in Star Wars, and they didn't destroy the whole planet. They just destroyed the city. I forget what the city's called. But like, fucking.
Didn't they also kill Torn Wei?
What?
As well? Didn't they also kill Torn Wei off at some point as well?
Who?
The Kaminoan from Attack of the Clones.
I know they killed Lama Su. Or we didn't see him die. They killed him off screen, I think. But like, Lama Su's the prime minister, obviously. But like, I think they did. No. I think they took the scientists or the clone from. I'm pretty sure they took the clone you're talking about, not clone, the Kaminoan you're talking about, because they still want it for the clone research. Now, my initial thought was like, oh my god, they killed Kamino. Are they done? But like, honestly, thinking about it, it actually kind of makes a bit of sense, because it's you'd wonder why the Empire would allow them to possibly make another clone army that could oppose the Empire. Like, I think honestly, even though I love Kamino, I think destroying Kamino actually does make some sense.
It's stupid. Like the Kaminos they make clones. They're pure businessmen. They make clones when they're paid for.
I know, but I'm saying the Empire destroyed it. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't. The more I think about it, I mean,
then who else is going to pay them, have the resources to pay out to make a clone army? Presumably, like they can make clones on a larger scale, but only if you pay them. Who in the galaxy is going to be able to pay them enough money to do that? And if they didn't want anyone else, then just install people to control. People to control.
They actually do talk about that. They talk about the Kaminoans say that, like, because of the success of the clone army in winning the Galactic Civil War, like, the Kaminoans have now been, like, before they used to be like kind of keep to themselves, and they used to be like contracted privately by like people who wanted to raise, like, I'm guessing much smaller armies to like fight battles on distant worlds. But the Kaminoans talk about like how the Clone Wars have made them pretty much galaxy famous now, and like because the clones did so well, they're going to get contracts from so many people once the Empire are done using them. But obviously the Empire didn't want that. So look, let's agree to disagree, because we really need to move on. But like, the more I think about it, the more I'm actually kind of okay. Even though I love Kamino and I'm sad to see it go, it actually kind of makes sense to me from the Empire standpoint.